Come back for more here.
Yep, let's do it.
This should be good.
Welcome to Mojo Plays. Today, we're looking at the 10 worst things Microsoft has ever done.
You just deleted the disk drive.
Exactly.
It's smaller, sleeker, and as quiet as ever. It's available starting today.
Will Microsoft ever work out what players want? Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of our latest videos. Banning the word gay.
I thought a team game might be fun, and then friends that I met online might want to play. You see, Xbox Live has this Optimax feature that lets you easily find players all over the country with the same game levels.
Gamers are a diverse bunch, and in 2009, headlines broke that some LGBTQ gamers weren't allowed to have the word gay or other references to their sexuality, like lesbian or transgender, in their gamer tags. When questioned on this decision, Microsoft said it would stop people from being homophobic to make gaming feel more inclusive. But one LGBT player was actually suspended for referring to herself as a lesbian in her Xbox profile.
Now, if you're ready to make a gamer tag change, here's what you need to know.
In 2010, it was changed so that people could include their homosexualities in their tags and files if they wanted, but banning someone for talking about their identity is hard to forgive. One guy even got banned for using his name, Haywood. This Xbox One.
What makes this new console great, you might be asking? Glad you did. A first all-digital Xbox One console, which means it doesn't have a disk drive.
All-digital consoles took a long time to catch on, but Microsoft finally broke through with the all-digital Xbox One S, which skipped the disk drive. Though it had a lower price tag, this move could be worse for consumers in the long run. Buying physical pre-owned games and trading them in when you're done is a great way to save money, as the drive could pay for itself.
You just deleted the disk drive.
Exactly.
The Xbox Series S and the PS5 All-Digital Edition both launching in 2020 as cheaper options, the One S set a precedent for companies forcing you into purchasing from their digital storefronts. Digital games might be convenient, but you're stuck buying old games for unfair prices.
If you're
Meet Chris and Mark. They've built their Bitcoin and Ethereum. But while Chris is using eToro to
living the digital life in your gaming, then the Xbox One S All-Digital Edition console is the one for you. But this is mine.
Core exclusives. Since the Xbox One, Microsoft's library of exclusive games for its flagship consoles dwindled to nothing. Nearly every exclusive also comes to PC, meaning there's no reason for PC gamers to buy the console as well. This is in stark contrast to what Sony has been doing, building a library of critically acclaimed exclusives ever since the PS1 that really are system sellers capable of tackling the PC market. There are still some benefits the Xbox consoles have, notably Game Pass. But Game Pass is also available on PC, and few of Microsoft's first-party titles can stand toe-to-toe with Sony's roster. When will they learn the games themselves are the most important thing?
Can we watch each other's backs? Like always.
Disc laser burn. Ideally, you won't ever knock your Xbox 360 over, but accidents happen, and if you kept your Xbox upright, bearing in mind it was upright in all its marketing material, you may have run into this issue. The console had a habit of accidentally burning your game disc while trying to read it.
This is the new Xbox 360.
The same thing could happen if the console was just moved slightly while it was running. Though you could argue that this was the fault of people not looking after their stuff properly, it was a widely reported issue. And when the 360 had so many other problems, it really starts to look like negligence on Microsoft's part.
It's smaller, sleeker, and as quiet as ever. And it's available starting today.
Necessities not included. When you buy a video game console, there are a few things you expect, and this was the case even in 2005 when the Xbox 360 Core launched without a hard drive or a Wi-Fi adapter. You had to buy these separately to get even halfway decent storage and the ability to play games online wirelessly. And because you had to buy these accessories directly from Microsoft, you were stuck paying a small fortune for things that should have been included. And unlike the PlayStation 3, which came with a Blu-ray player included, gamers were forced to buy a $199 add-on of the ill-fated HD DVD format if they wanted to play HD movies. DRM.
To continue to lead, we must provide compelling answers to new questions. Can we take what you love and make it better?
Were you hoping to play pre-owned or borrowed games on your brand new Xbox One? Well, Microsoft had other ideas. Originally, the Xbox One was announced to be always online so that your Xbox could constantly check in and make sure you actually owned the games you were playing and couldn't lend them to friends.
So stick with 360, that's your message if you don't, like it?
If you have zero access to the internet, that is an offline device.
Unsurprisingly, the public backlash was immense. First was the fact that a lot of people didn't have stable internet connections, and playing single-player games offline is completely valid. And second was Microsoft's brazen attempt to destroy the pre-owned market. DRM was thankfully dropped, but nobody has forgotten that they thought they could get away with it.
Hey,
it's me, your skin. Help me maintain my moisture balance while exfoliating with CeraVe Renewing SA Cleanser.
is this going to impact me in a negative way? And until you use it, it's really hard to understand what all the advantages are.
Connect.
You have the freedom to choose how you want to work out. You can choose a personal trainer for a workout tailored to your fitness goals, or you can take a class like martial arts or yoga.
The Nintendo Wii ushered in a new era of motion controls, but Microsoft's Kinect was never able to compete. Not only was there almost no demand for the controller-free device, but it had hardly any games and needed a huge amount of space to work.
Play.
People were also concerned that Microsoft was spying on them with the Kinect's camera and microphone, especially when Microsoft tried to make it mandatory for the Xbox One. Public opinion quickly turned, and despite including the Kinect in an expensive Xbox One bundle, it was eventually scrapped. So many years later, and nobody's missing it.
Yeah, that's right. If a cursor's coming up inadvertently during a movie, it can be really distracting. So we added that feature to turn it off if it's not working for you.
That's great. Thanks, Scott.
The Xbox One. The 360 was a game console through and through, which is why it was utterly baffling when Microsoft decided to market the Xbox One not as a console at all, but as a one-step entertainment center. The focus on making good video games almost disappeared completely, and instead Microsoft pushed the fact that you could use your Xbox to stream TV and little else.
And with that simple command, I'm watching live TV.
Combined with the fact that it was more expensive and less powerful than the PS4 at launch, had none of the exclusives, and, again, the DRM, the Xbox One was doomed from the beginning. It never had a chance of competing with the PS4. Charging for Xbox Live. All digital consoles are the most recent precedent set by Microsoft, but back in the 2000s, they set an entirely different one, charging players for online subscriptions. This may be the norm now, but the PS3 and the Wii didn't charge players to play online. You're already paying for the internet in the first place, after all. You do get some bonuses from subscriptions, like free games and discounts, but a lot of people still aren't happy about essentially paying twice for internet access, 3 times if you include the cost of the game itself. Then, in early 2021, Microsoft tried to double the price of Xbox Live Gold in an effort to shuffle more people onto Game Pass Ultimate. They backed down almost instantly, but it says a lot that they considered this at all.
Nice one!
Red Ring of Death.
The red rings of doom signal that your Xbox 360 is fried. Microsoft hasn't specified the cause, but users say the console's cooling system just can't take the heat of a lot of play.
In retrospect, it's insane that the Xbox 360 went to market with catastrophic problems that could immediately break your console with no warning whatsoever. For years, people playing on launch model 360s lived in fear. And if you still have your classic console, you probably still do, because at any moment, your console could turn itself off and show the infamous red ring of death. While it's possible for a console to come back from this, a lot were permanently damaged, and it wasn't helped by the fact that the red ring could signal any number of issues. Microsoft paid $1.15 billion to recall and repair failed consoles, and still faced a lawsuit because of the console's failures.
We would respectfully submit as the kind of issue that is ripe for class action adjudication.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, there's more where that came from.